Good morning and welcome to BOTB HQ in Parsons Green, South West London. My name is Christian Williams, a presenter here at BOTB. And we're here this morning to judge the latest midweek car competition, which ran from the 10th to the 16th of September 2020. And just before I hand over to Charlotte, our lawyer this morning, once again, massive congratulations to last week's winner of the midweek car competition, Carl Creed, winning the incredible BMW M2 competition plus £10,000. I'm now going to pass over to Charlotte Houston from ONSIDE Law, who will oversee the proceedings this morning.
My name is Charlotte Houston from ONSIDE Law, and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company, Assets. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. Then at the end, each judge will justify their position and the group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name is ALAIN GOMA. I'm an ex-professional footballer, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
Good morning, my name is Peter Georgia. I am a football and futsal referee.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Hi, my name is Kieran FITZGIBBON. I've played football for more than 30 years and am now a senior county referee.
Hi, my name is Aramin Donka. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, first as a player and then as a referee.
My name is Chloe Morgan. I am currently the Crystal Palace women's goalkeeper. I'm also a full-time civil litigation lawyer in London.
Thanks, judges. Alan, if you could now please justify the position of your cross on the screen.
Yeah, thanks, Charlotte. Yeah, so we've got two players on the shot. I think the ball is coming down towards the player in red. I think he's right above his head. He's looking straight above him. Player in blue, I think is is late for the challenge, and you can see with his left arm he's trying to block his opponent, so he can't have a clear header. Player in blue, I think, is looking diagonally. His head is very slightly tilted, but he's looking, as you can see, my cross is a bit lower than most of my colleagues, but I don't think he's looking that steeply. And as I said, the player in red is looking right above him. Both eyes don't really look in the same direction, but I thought that the right eye was leading. So cross-referencing both eye lines, I decided that the center of the ball was where I put my cross.
Thank you. Peter, if you can now please justify the position of your cross.
Yes, so well, mine is the green cross. As agreed with Alain there, that the player in red looks like he's looking favourite for the ball. Is dropping down directly above from him, and the player on my left in the blue is putting him off balance. I don't think he's even thinking of winning that ball in regards to the blue player, the player in blue. So he's just off-putting the player, off balancing him, the player in red, and the distance from the head, from the red player's head, I've gauged from the blue player's eyes. I've got it slightly higher than Alain because I think that he's looking higher, and the fact that if you look at the expression of the player in red, it's not on top of him, so that's why I put it a bit further away, and that's where I put the centre of the ball, where my green cross is.
Thank you. Kieran, if you could now please justify the position of your cross.
Yes, thanks, Charlotte. We've got the two players in shot. I think the player in red is looking upwards at the ball, as been said earlier by my colleagues. And I think he's going to try and head the ball. I think the player in blue is trying to get into a position to play the ball and is trying to hold off the player in red, but he's probably second favourite to get the ball. He's probably unlikely to get there. However, his eyes, I think, are fixed on the ball, as are the eyes from the player in red. Looking at the player in blue, I can see a little bit of white beneath the pupil, and I think with his head slightly tilted, I think he's looking a little bit higher than some of my colleagues. But I do think both players have got their eyes fixed on the ball, and that's why I placed my cross where the blue cross is.
Thank you. Ari, if you can now please justify the position of your cross.
Thanks, Charlotte. My cross is the orange over there. I feel that exactly the same as my colleagues. The player in red is his favorite to play for this ball. His facial expression is very confident. He's looking up. His head is completely tilted back. The player in sky blue on the side, he is slightly late for this one. But the only way that he can get to this ball, he needs to do two things. First one, he'll try to, with his left arm, try to unbalance the play in red, using the enough force to go unnoticed to the referee, and doing that while jumping. And he's looking fixed. He's quite fixed at the ball as well. So I cross-referenced both high lines and decided the center ball should be where I place my cross.
Thank you. Leo, if you could now please justify the position of your cross.
Yes, yeah, there's two players in shot. I believe the player in red is going to head the ball. I think if you look at his body position, he's got his right arm up. He's holding off or fending off the player in blue. If you look at the player in red, I think his neck is elongated. I think he's ready to he's gone sort of as far back with his head as he needs to go. So I believe he's going to hit the ball. If you look at his eyes, he's got a good fix on the ball. I think the player in blue is just a bit late getting there, and he's going to try and put the player in red off. I think with the player in blue with his eye line, because I've gone a bit lower, I think his head is fairly straight. It's just his eyes that are kind of looking up. And I think, so what I'm trying to say there is his head's not sort of bent backwards. So I don't think he's looking too high. So, just with their eye lines and their positions, that's why I went where I did.
Thank you. Chloe, if you could please justify the position of your cross.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, there are two players in shot there. I think for me, given the angles of their necks, both seem to be sort of fairly outstretched. I would anticipate that ball was coming down for a header, as some of my colleagues have mentioned. It looks to me to be sort of quite a higher ball, given the position of their eyes going straight directly upwards for the red player and also across for the blue. I think the outstretched necks there indicating a much higher position, which is obviously where I've put my cross. But I would anticipate that is a ball that's coming down to hopefully be won by the red player.
Thanks, judges. Please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 6 individual selections.
Okay, guys, let's start by drawing a few lines. I think, most of us, we are all in agreement, actually. From this angle, I think it's, I think we all agree that, the ball is, straight above this player. So yeah, what I'll do, I'll draw only one line from this player, as we got quite a narrow band. The spread is a bit wider from this player. So let's, okay. Okay, now, yeah, it looks like we've got, 2 crosses, on the lower part. Then we got a small cluster with 3 crosses, and we've got 1 cross a bit higher. Chloe, you went a bit higher than everyone. So I guess, you thought, this player was looking quite steeply.
Yeah, I think that was my view, that the eye line from what I could see was a lot higher. It looked like to me, it looked like more of a high ball that was coming down. And obviously both necks are quite outstretched and quite far back, especially for that red player. He's looking quite directly up. So that was my view, but I do think there's probably movement there to come down a little. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because, yeah, as Leo mentioned, I personally thought that, you know, the head of this player was, you know, quite straight, very slightly tilted backwards, and you know, it was looking up, but you know, maybe not, you know, as steeply as, you know, the majority thought. But on another end, I think it's, Peter mentioned that, you know, you could see the whites of his eye. So, you know, he's looking, you know, he's looking up, that's for sure. Kieran, I think you went, you know, after Chloe, you were the highest. Can you explain your thoughts?
Well, I think particularly that if you look again at the eye of the player in blue, that there is, you can see the white underneath the eyeball, quite a bit of it, I think.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
And I think also that, although I think the player in red is going to win the ball, he doesn't look as though he's actually going directly yet at the ball. So I felt it was a bit like Chloe said, the ball's dropping in, but it's not there yet. And that's why I think it's a little bit higher.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, looking at the crosses, you know, as I said, we've got two down, you know, low, a cluster of three in the middle, and, you know, Chloe's up. At the moment, you know, the average is in the middle of the cluster. It's kind of cancelling, you know, Chloe's cross is kind of cancelling mine and Leo. So if I put the ball, you know, on the average, for me personally, it could work, and, you know, it hides, you know, three of the main crosses. What do you think? I guess, you know, Peter, you would be happy with the average as it is.
Yeah, it's all about the distance away from the red player's head, and the body language tells me that it's not on top of him. So, and I think the ball is actually going to just drop down on his head rather than the player heading the ball. So, yes, I think that's a good compromise in regards to the judging at the average. It does. They are feasible. So it's just the speed of the ball, really, and we don't know what the speed of the ball is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, correct. What I'll do, I'm going to remove mine, Leo's, and Chloe to see the average. So it's dropping, you know, slightly. But yeah, you know, what I'm trying to do is, you know, try to keep as much crosses as we can, you know. And I think, you know, I think all are feasible. Because if I put the ball up here, yeah, I think it's still a bit high, but I think it's still feasible, as well as I think if I put the cross down here. So
Alain, can you just try, for example, to remove Chloe to see the way it goes?
Yeah. So yeah, it comes in the middle of the 5 here.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, Leo?
I think where the cross is now without Chloe, for me, I think it's better. Because I think the player in red, I think is going to head the ball. I think his arms up. To me, he's set, and he's just waiting to head the ball. If it's a little bit higher or a little bit lower, I think it works for the player in red. Going back to the player in blue, I just think, as I said, I think his head is fairly sort of straight, and even though his eyes are up, I think when your head is straight, you're not looking so high. So
okay.
So I think it's, without Chloe, I think it's a better position.
Okay.
Alain,
so, yeah.
Sorry, Alain, can I ask you something? Could you, where you've got the cross there, could you put an eye line from the player in blue's eye to that cross? Because
yeah, sure.
to me, that seems a bit low still, but I'd like to see it with the eye line in, if that's okay. And then could you put the magnifier back on the eye then, please, just for a second?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it works.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this works to me, yeah. So, you know, as it is, we've got, you know, the average, you know, right, you know, in the middle, you know, these 5 crosses. So we've got, you know, the orange one, which is Aries, spot on, yeah, nearly, you know, at the same level.
I'm quite happy with that.
I'm sure you are. And then we got 2 up and 2 down. So the question is, you know, do we think that, you know, the average as it is work better than what it is, you know, like that, basically?
I think Chloe should stay in.
Yeah.
For the balance, yes.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think even if I went, you know, a bit lower, I think we should keep everyone. That would be my choice. So what do you think? You know, I guess Chloe, you would be happy to stay in, and you're still happy. Actually, it would be interesting to hear your point of view. You know, with or without you, what do you think the average is best?
I think without the sort of without sounding biased, I think there is. I think it does sit much higher or much better in my mind with my coordinates in. I appreciate that I've probably gone too high on this one, okay. But I think there is a sort of between Peter's and Kieran's coordinates. I think that's where I would have gone. I think before, when I was taken out, it seemed to sit a little bit too low for me in terms of the how it sat with the blue players' eye line. I think it was too low. So I think where the average is now seems to sit a lot better.
Okay. So I think maybe we should vote and see. I think, you know, the question is, does the average work better with or without Chloe, basically? So shall we take a vote? This or that? So Peter, what do you think?
With Chloe.
Okay. Kieran?
Yes, with Chloe.
Yeah. Ari?
With Chloe. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go with it. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we got the majority. So so I think we're going to judge with the average as it is. So let's remove this. Okay, Charlotte, we made our decision. We're going to judge with the average.
Thank you, judges. If you're all happy, then please can you click submit? Thank you, judges. The coordinates selected are 1917 and 848. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company, assets, to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you.